Now let that sink in. Come on. Change ain't coming, change is here. You can hear it, you can feel it in the air. All politicians, put your hands in the air. Just a stick up, let me make myself clear. I'm a grown man talking, so you know what to do. No one's leaving till we figure out the truth. Why you laughing? This ain't nothing funny. So no one gets to go home till we figure out this money. Change ain't coming, change is here. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, nigga, change is here. Now if you ain't standing with us, then I know you against us. Bahamas, this ain't no time for us to be lukewarm. This is war, and we riding through the storm. Come on. Let's go, shalom to all my Hebrew brothers. To all my Muslim and Rastas, we need you, brother. Selassie, I know, I can't forget the Christians. Let's put our differences aside, cause it's a bigger mission. See, they've been doing this for years, trying to separate us. Kinda trying to keep us down and never elevate us. Now it's time to praise the Lord, cause he's about to take us over to the promised land where we can celebrate us. I got to do it for my kids that ain't even born yet. So the minute that they born, they already gotta check that check. Gotta have that time to collect, so they won't know how it feels to have that yoke around their neck. Yeah. See, y'all been robbing my grandmother, my great-great-grandmother and grandfather. It's like y'all can't get enough. Y'all just keep eating and giving us nothing but taxes. Y'all went even as far as to say that this country's in debt and we ain't got no money. When 9 times out of 10, everybody in this country's possibly a millionaire. It's time to wake up. Let's talk about natural resources, cause every time we bring it up, they say hold your horses. They say it ain't worth a thing, but it's worth a fortune. Meanwhile, they open up their businesses across the borders. Oh yes, we track their bank accounts across the waters. They say this country in debt, but they making millions. If we don't stop this now, they be up to billions. It's about to go down and I get the feeling we gotta cut a movie on these dirty villains. On this Lincoln Bain and his team came with information. It's like everything changed, everything went quiet. It's like so much facts and they can't deny it. They rather keep their mouths shut before they start a riot. Now look how they tryna just steal the oil. They don't wanna share with none of y'all. They been robbing us while we were sleeping. Send them to jail cause they failed, they committed treason. Change ain't coming. They say change ain't coming. The change is here. They say change ain't coming. The change is here. They say change ain't coming. Nigga, change is here. Listen, from Freeport to Nassau all the way to Nawa, there's no more time for us to sit back and be quiet. You understand? This is war. If they only knew who we were, if they only know who we are, they would know we are warriors. No retreat, no surrender. Just give us what you owe us. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. I feel this all the way to my ancestors. We are warriors. We only really want what's owed to us. You get it? Now free up.
They are liable to make some bad choices along this journey called life, in business or we gonna stand up? Bahamas, a when we gonna stand up? Bahamas, are children getting killed in the Bahamas in fear of going to school? Bahamas, Haitian gangs forming, deliberately targeting our children? Bahamas, what we gonna do? Bahamas, our Bahamian food getting bootleg before our eyes? Bahamas, yet we still go out and patronize? Bahamas, look at our native craft markets in the Bahamas. Made in China still displayed? Bahamas, Cuban craft items getting shipped in weekly? Bahamas, yet we proud to say Bahamian straw market in the Bahamas. The best seafood in the world in our waters? Bahamas, illegals fishing and RBDF getting paid off? Bahamas, we stand by with face long? Bahamas, when we can stop the play? Bahamas, our number one industry in the Bahamas is tourism? Bahamas, all our big hotels owned by foreigners? Bahamas, Bahamas, and some won't give low pay in the Bahamas. Soon when visitors come in the Bahamas, it won't be our face they see? Bahamas, now what you gonna say? Bahamas, boy, y'all could play? Bahamas, we have people standing up for we rights with no pay? Bahamas, now look what we gonna say? Bahamas, how we've never fixed? Bahamas, he take my money during a business deal he had going on in the Bahamas. There is bigger fish to fry. Oh, my Bahamas. MPs always telling lies in the Bahamas. Unnecessary taxations in the Bahamas. Partying out taxpayers' money in Dubai and the Bahamas. Big kickbacks from government contracts in the Bahamas. Minimum wage still low? Bahamas, making it hard for we to grow in the Bahamas. Increase in crime due to lack in the Bahamas. Plenty still live in shacks in the Bahamas, illegals living for free in Wheeline in the Bahamas, while Bahamians have nowhere to go in the Bahamas. Victimization in the workplace still exists in the Bahamas because of who you vote for. My Lord, Bahamas. Ain't we an independent nation with rights, Bahamas? When will y'all fight, Bahamas?
Testing. You can finish look at it, but it seems as if the volume has gone off. But the end synopsis of this video basically says that we have to understand that these things are reality in our country. And if we need or want something to be done, and in a positive way, where people who actually care, we have to start and look at ourselves as to how we could contribute to making a difference. We have to start networking with like-minded people who want to see change, who want to do the change, and who's available to do it. So in the end here is basically a plea for us all who don't know about COI, who've heard about COI, to basically take a second glance and give COI a chance, because you have people who are passionate, people who have who are courageous, I would say, especially if you've been watching the news and looking in the newspaper to see the things that's been going on. These are people who are not looking for money. They do these things that they do for our country for free. How many of you would do the things you see they do for free? Any hands? Okay. So when you see you have people who are willing to step out in faith and step out with courage to try to assist us in getting stuff done that needs to be done, we have to look at the agenda that they have and try to network with them if we say we want to see change. Because the motto of COI is change is here. Change ain't coming. Change is here. Okay, so we have to understand. Some of you might be like, I don't see a change. We have to understand it's here. It's here, but we don't see it as powerful as we need to, because there's a lot of people in the background that's afraid of victimization in our country. Sad to say. So even though in here might not be full with people, there are people who've already said and expressed, I want to be a part of this group. I want to make a difference. I want to see a difference. But they are afraid. So we have to continue to pray each other, strengthen the Lord, because if we don't network today, tomorrow, I don't know what to say about our Bahamas. There are people who can see what's going on, and only thing they're doing is creating their backup plan for when everything is messed up. Second in our country, they're putting together their monies and backup plans. They already have their offshore accounts, I want you to know, so they could leave and go with their families elsewhere, leaving us in the Bahamas with the bag in our hands. I want you to believe that. So we have to use wisdom, not just hear what's going on and seeing and doing nothing, waiting for someone else to do it. If we don't fight and network together, I don't know what to say. But thank you so much for your indulgence in the piece that I had to say. Now, this time we're going to get into the meat of the matter. We're going to hear from our panel of speakers who came all the way from Nassau just to be able to connect with with each and every one of you in this room. Speaker on the evening. She is no stranger to me, and especially to Facebook. She's always on the road, always there. And I tell them, y'all always talk about Maria here. Let me tell you a secret about Maria here. Let me tell you something. And this goes to show true leadership. When you hear about Maria here, you fix this and the other, I want you to know half of the time people be calling Maria out her bed. Maria, you know, time to worry about how my hair look. This woman going to help these people figure out what's going on. So we need to stop this saying, so what? If you hate it, so what? Focus on what's being done, what the person is. That's the bottom line. So I want y'all to give it up to Maria. Okay, because she's a hard run with her. And I want y'all to Maria. Before COI existed, Maria been on the scene a long time, pushing and helping people. Long time. I remember Maria remember I walked up to the doctor's hospital one night. This before COI come up. Taylor, we be trying to get her. We try to put things together. This things gotta work. Things gotta work. And this years later, things working, and it will continue to work because God is putting all of His people together, networking, like-minded people to make it happen. And all give it up for Maria. She come and tell you what she got to say, because I know she got plenty to tell you. Looks like a girl, but she's the same. You can burn your eyes and look the other way.
And good night to all the persons from Eleuthera. At this time now, I'm going to ask God to increase and allow me to decrease, because His word must go forward in Eleuthera at this time. And there was a song God dropped in my spirit today. You all know this. Lincoln was out there. The team left me back to hear that song. My phone, right? My phone going there, and I said, God, what's going on? That's what God dropped in my spirit. Lincoln, let me tell you this. This song, Lord, and the song, Lincoln, it's the song. God dropped in my spirit that no one that form against us shall prosper. You see it? Why am I under it? But He's going to Lincoln, that song keep coming. I can't get my phone back on. God tell me He deserves all the honor. He deserves all the praise. And I want to tell you, COI, they will try. But this word is going to go out, and the people is going to hear our voices all over this country and all over this world. And I say, change is going to come. We just have to be obedient, you know. While y'all was there, I was there praying. I said, God was good. And God tell me He got this. And where that lady is, who from the Kansas, who want to open the door for us. You know what she tell me in the back room? She was supposed to come, but God tell her to come in the plane today. They're like telling you something that you know. God who understand something. Tell the people, man. Mr. Brad Davis, Clayton Fernando, the police in the Utah, God shut down the workers' house for us. I want to let y'all know something. His word is going to go forward, no matter what. You know what God also tell me? It was supposed to be more people. If only one show out tonight. We have to speak to that one. So guess what? I want to let the government of the Bahamas know. Y'all try everything to shut me and Lincoln and this COI down. But guess what? This is a God man. This has nothing to do with me and Lincoln. God called us for a time like this. I have to say to the youth, God called us for a time like this. And when God get ready, oh, he's going to do some work that's going to blow your mind. Before I move on to the story, you don't see this yet, guys? Get it done in I was supposed to get it done in Nassau, but the draft came down. I go ahead and pray. Because if my phone was on Lincoln, I would be on that phone. But he got to do it in the What's Brad Davis was the minister was we have to conquer. He should be talking to our great grandparents and our parents and our parents. No, you're talking to educated people now. And I have a knock. I just listen to them, One word will change off everything. I said, this man talking garbage, eh? But you want increasing the taxes. And let me tell you where the corruption is coming in. My fellow Bahamians. You are taxing us and don't want to give an account for our monies. Watch this, my fellow Bahamians. The hospital is worse off than it was when it was taxing us. Secondly, NIB. We had more benefits back then. And we were able to benefit from NIB. But now, you can't get nothing and they can increase it again. They're raping and robbing and stealing from their own people. Let's talk about the road work. Y'all ever notice something? That's the third thing. Every fee went up the road traffic. What happened? More potholes. They're doing sloppy work, sloppier work, and it was all about their cronies collecting these contracts to do the road, and guess what? They're doing cheap materials. So when they do the road now, what's supposed to last 40 years, it only lasted 5 years. And he was saying, that's true. I want y'all to notice something, especially in Nassau. They just paved some of the roads a couple of years ago, but the more potholes coming in. So what's going on? Shabby work by the PLP and the F&M cronies. But like my leader said to me the other day, you don't watch the road to get into the airport. The Chinese come here and they build the road. You all see any potholes in the roads going to the airport? That means they use the engineers and the right material to make that road steady for another 50 years. To us, you gotta go through all kind of potholes. You did on that bridge the other day. Mr. Clay speaking, get somebody to go on that bridge to patch that bridge up. It's better for you to patch that up. What? Degrade and somebody God forbid, somebody get killed on that bridge. Go do your job, the Honorable Clay speaking. Mr. Says, please, ministry work, go and check out that bridge on behalf of the people from Eleuthera. See, BPL, I talk about BPL next. BPL, I'll watch this again. Oh, Father God, you think God did a curse on the PLD? You think God cursing them for their wickedness? Yeah. You all realize something, every ministry that the PLD touches up on and changing some stuff and going down and crumbling down. PDC did a better job than BPL, man. All this technology they got. And guess what? They said these are smart people they have in place. So what ideas are they bringing to benefit the Bahamian people? It's about the cronies again. Slack job. Cronies get paid. And what they do, they help us paying the taxes. They increasing the light bill. Yo, watch what's going to go better. Ask God. The more we pay, the more service decrease. You are picking up everything they touch. The Bahamian people are suffering like never before. And we are here tonight to tell you all that we got the plans. We are coming to the Bahamian people. We gonna ask some of y'all for some solution, you know. When we I want God and the people's plan. Go into the people's house with our plan. We know how to operate your plan. But you see the Joshua generation, we gotta set a pavement for them. Huh? Because God got to secure this next generation. We can't have this next generation of children paying these taxes for the politician, the PLP, and the FNL. So that's why we come to Eleuthera. We will hear what your concerns are. So Eleuthera tonight, I want to tell y'all finally before I take my seat that this is a God win. When you watch us sometimes, we get tired sometimes. Like we even get tired sometimes. But it's about the Bahamian people. Huh? And only person can help us out with this is God. We need to stamp out or try to decrease this corruption in this Bahamas. I want to touch on crime, but I'm going to leave that for another day. So good night, everybody from Eleuthera.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Maria Jackson. For those of you who don't know, Ms. Maria Jackson is the COI second in charge. At this time, we are going to call another speaker. I can't wait. When I tell you I can't wait, I truly can't wait to hear what this second person has to say. This second person is the Shadow Minister of Health. Now, you all hear these different, I call it different things. You say, here, Shadow Minister of Health, you will hear Immigration XYZ. These persons are in preparations for actually activating in these roles. So I look forward, especially in this particular role, when you hear health, because this deals with our hospitals and all these different capacities with the healthcare system in our country. And I want y'all to know, our healthcare system is a horrible one. And I'm not saying that to be biased or to downplay it. The past 2 operations I did the same year I was in Cuba, and every time I go Cuba is like a mini Bahamas. When I turn around, Bahamians have the lobbies full. Bahamians going to Cuba because they were wrongly diagnosed. They were told there's no more chance. Nothing else we could do. That means we can't do nothing else, we could die. And I've heard many stories where the doctors there were able to fix these people. Things were able to be done, and people living and fine and strong. But something seriously has to be done with our healthcare system because there is no love in it. There's no love, and I'm not saying that. Let me see, when I say things, let me back up what I say it for you. And Dr. Veronica come to see people need to hear real life stories. I kid you not, my daughter is 26 years old, a nurse at Doctor's Hospital. On her birthday last year, she caught COVID, and she had a boil that grew on her behind at the same time. So she was in pain, aggravating pain. She went to the hospital, and they said they had to do a mini operation. They did the mini operation, never put her in a room. And I live here, she's in Nassau. And I'm like trying to reach her. I didn't talk to her for 2 days. And when I finally got her, she said they did the mini operation. They have her in the corner somewhere because she had COVID. And she sounded very sad. I was like, what's happening other than you being there? She said, Mom, I don't want you to carry on bad, but because I know how you go. I didn't call you to let you know. I said, what that means? She said, I've been in here for 2 days and they have not allowed me to take a bath. I said, what? She said, they have not allowed me to take in a bath because I have no room and my dressing has not been changed. And every time a shift changes, I keep telling the nurse, no one has changed my bandage. And she's a nurse herself, so she knows when a bandage needs to change. And when she said that, hell rising me, I looked at my phone for the Minister of Health number, and he wasn't answering because I had his personal number. I got him on the Panama some time ago. And he didn't answer. So I called the hospital, like, who I know in this hospital? And when I called the head nurse I knew was in charge, she was there, I was like, my daughter isn't there, and I told her the situation. And this is what she said to me. Why didn't you call me, Taylor, to tell me she was there? We would have made sure she was straight. What does that mean? All of us are Bahamians. I don't care who you know. It doesn't matter. It's a healthcare system is created for all of us. Thank God she went and she got attention right away, but that should never be. You should never have to call to somebody in the healthcare system in the Bahamas. And I felt so terrible because the fact my daughter is a nurse. She loves her profession, and to see herself being treated by other nurses and people in the healthcare, it dampened her spirit. So we need to do better, Bahamas. Without further ado, Dr. Veronica MacGyver, Shadow Minister of Health.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. I am happy to be here tonight because we gotta talk about the health of our nation. And the Master of Ceremonies, Madam Speaker, you said that our health system is in crisis. I concur with that tonight. Let me just say, before I begin, I saw a family sitting there with COI on their shirt. I assume it's the mother, father of the two children, and with COI on their shirt. And you look really great. And I just want to say that, it's good to see those young children in that t-shirt because COI is fighting, not just for COI, I abbreviated with COI. COI is fighting for the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. By the way, I was born in Nassau. My family is from Ackland, my mother's family, but I chose to build my second home in Eleuthera. So I say that because Eleuthera is a beautiful island. It is just gorgeous, and I just wanted to tell you that the same concerns that you have, I am going to have while I am here. So I am not only going to be looking out for the Bahamas and all the islands, but Eleuthera is special in my heart. So I'll try to be as brief as I can. The health vision for the Bahamas is that we plan in Nassau, and I'll get to Eleuthera, we plan to have a health city in Nassau where we have a state-of-the-art hospital. We are also going to have a wellness center, and next to the state-of-the-art hospital, we're going to have a naturopathic and holistic center. That's a center where we will treat our patients with natural medicine. I sometimes colloquially say bush medicine because a lot of Bahamians understand that. And I think that there's a future for natural medicine and bush medicine in the Bahamas. It can get to the point where we can actually even do research through the College of Bahamas and have this actually exported as one of our natural resources. So that's that's our vision for COI. I didn't say COI, Mr. Bain. I have some friends who call themselves, I'm a COI girl. So anyway, about Eleuthera, I visited the government clinic, one of them. I could be honest, I'm gonna be fair. I was disappointed. I was very disappointed, and I could imagine how a lot of your residents feel. And perhaps during the answer and question period, maybe we can talk about it a little bit more. I also visited a private facility, and I was quite pleased with the private facility. Every island should have, I guess, give you the option of a public and private. But keep in mind, everybody cannot afford private health care. And so the government's job is to look after its citizens, to make sure that healthcare is affordable for everyone and they have access to healthcare. As you know, a lot of you, even if you have a toothache, some of you have to get on the plane, go to Nassau, and when you look at the cost, your ticket alone is 200 and something. And then when you get to Nassau, you may have to pay another 200 and something to get that tooth out. Not to mention an Airbnb or a hotel. That is not right for our citizens. You all should not have to be going through that. So we're gonna have to change that, and we're gonna have a clinic in every settlement. That's nice. And then in addition to that, I promise you, Eleuthera will have a state-of-the-art hospital. We need that because I'll tell you why. Let's say I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a car accident and somebody break their arm or leg. You want to be able to just go to the hospital and not only stabilize you, but you want them to be able to actually fix that leg and arm in Eleuthera. That's not a very complicated type of surgery or whatever in the hospital. That should be done in Eleuthera. And another thing that what we propose to do is with ambulances, like we're going to do in Nassau, we're going to strategically place ambulances at strategic points in Nassau so that they can get to their destination. Let's say 5 or 10 minutes is a good time. Many times in Nassau, what we've discovered is you call for an ambulance and either there's none or they take about 40 to 50 minutes to arrive. Now, in a life-threatening situation, you all know that is not good. That is not going to work. So what I propose to do in Eleuthera is to have ambulances placed within certain communities so that if there is an accident or some emergency, like a heart attack, the ambulance will be able to reach them within 5 or 10 minutes at the most. So that's what we're looking forward to. Helicopters. We are going to have helicopters because, as you know, in a lot of emergencies, if the hospital in Eleuthera cannot take care of a specialty or a subspecialty, then that person will or may have to be airlifted to Nassau or perhaps Florida. Another good thing that the helicopters can do is in the event of a very catastrophic hurricane, everybody then know what Dorian, what happened in Dorian. And sometimes the airport will close down during a really bad hurricane. Or the roads might even be impassable. And you know, Eleuthera is very long with one major road. If anything falls into that road, what kind of debris, you can't even get from one settlement to the next. So we're gonna have to make provisions for that. And a helicopter will be advantageous for that. Because the regular plane going up and down, that's not gonna work. So we do propose, to have those helicopters. It will also benefit a lot of the tourists because, as you know, we have a lot of tourists come to Eleuthera. And should something happen, God forbid, we will be able to airlift them, if not to Nassau, perhaps straight into Florida, where most of them, they have their insurance abroad. Okay, medical tourism. Some of you might have heard about medical tourism. You did? Okay. So that is not necessarily perhaps a short-range goal for us, but I could see that as a middle to long-range goal for Eleuthera. So everybody might have heard of stem cell therapy. It's becoming very popular, and so I could see a little therapy center here in Eleuthera where people can come get their stem cell therapy. And I can't think of a more beautiful island to actually convalesce on and just relax before you go back home. So I can see that working for Eluethera. And I would also like to talk about preventive medicine. What we found in the Bahamas is that we have a lot of what they call non-communicable type diseases, diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease. And obesity. So what has happened is those persons tend to rotate in and out of the hospital, clogging up the hospital a lot. So what our goal is going to be is to try prevent our people from getting to that state of disease. So what we propose to do is to get a health advisor. Each of you in this room will be assigned a health advisor. If you do not wish, then you could say no, but we will give you a health advisor who will bring you in once a year or perhaps twice a year, and they will do routine tests on you. So let me give you an example. Let's say they do a blood test and they find out that your blood sugar is elevated. So you don't have diabetes yet, but you're in the pre-diabetic range. Well, then you need to know that, because if we could prevent you from getting diabetes, then we could prevent you from having to go to the hospital all the time. And in the long run, even though the startup costs may be a little heavy having the health advisors, in the back end, the Bahamas will save money by not having these persons go in and out of the hospital and using the beds, okay? So that's what we propose. Also this is the digital world, right? Everything is digital. So for those patients who may have, let's say they did go over and they have diabetes or high blood pressure, we may give them a mobile app to keep with them so they can do all kind of things. They can count their calories, they can, then they go to a fast food, but hold on, there's no fast food in Eleuthera, right? There's no McDonald's or Kentucky or anything. Okay, so we will use our mobile app for other reasons here in Eleuthera, but in Nassau, we will be using those mobile apps for some of those fast food restaurants. So when they go in there, they will, when they go to order those big sugary drinks, that little mobile app will go ping ping and remind them, hey, you're in the wrong place. Or perhaps, maybe not the wrong place, but maybe advise you on some of the more healthier choices at that establishment. Let me say that. So anyway, at the end of this talk, we will have a question and answer period where some of you may have some questions for me as it relates to healthcare, and I will be happy to answer it. But before I leave, I just want to say to everyone that healthcare is not a luxury. It is actually a right of all of you to have it, okay? And I don't know, if I did say to everyone that it will be free healthcare for everyone, okay? So that is something that we look forward to. And in addition to free healthcare, we want the quality of our healthcare to go up. Right now, you can get healthcare in some parts of the Bahamas free, but what type of quality are you getting? And that is what we have to change. So change ain't coming. Okay, thank you.
We're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round. You can't find out.
Thank you so much, Dr. MacGyver. It's a pleasure to formally meet you. Thank you. We have some great things planned for us as a country. I look forward to each and every one of them. I hope y'all looking forward to some of the things? Yeah. So y'all know what y'all gotta do. Y'all will see these things, right? What y'all gotta do? Contract friend. Okay, once y'all remember, I hope y'all remember that too. We can make this a reality and not just a talk. We can make it a real reality. Now, this person who's coming next
chairman of COI, but I want to say to you, she's not a regular woman. And I know this from numerous encounters with her, because we go way back. We go back from Abaco. We were living in Abaco some 8 years ago, and prior to that, we were in Abaco for, I was there for 8 years, and I think I left her there in Abaco. And I must say, I am so happy to see how she's evolved so much. She always was someone who had something positive to say. And once this lady got your back, she got your back. Like, I always was some tears when they were trying to arrest you, and she was on top of you. I was like, oh, God, I need to do that. She got your back. And for those of you who don't follow on Facebook, I want you to know she's a very vivid writer. She is not a woman of 1 or 2 words. When you see these posts, it's almost like a book shot like a queen to play. You're going to be an author like me and LinkedIn one day. Girl, you could write it. You're a very excellent writer. Mr. DJ, you got to play the song by our chairman as she come on, none other than Miss Charlotte Green. Y'all give it up for Charlotte.
And the mountains seem impossible.
Good evening. Good evening. Hi, Eluethera. Thank you, Kira. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good evening, Eluethera. Good evening to everyone who decided to come out. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for embracing me and my team. We appreciate you all so much, and this is the reason why we are here. Yes, my name is Charlotte Green, and I am the national chairman for the Coalition of Independence. And my job, my purpose, the reason I was born in this particular time was to help, is to help bring our country forward to the new Bahamas, a place where we can truly be independent, a place where we can truly benefit from this country. Because guess what? You are a person, you are people, you are a Bahamian, you matter. You matter. There is no need, and I want y'all to excuse me because I get very, very passionate. And sometimes my passion brings me to tears. It brings me to anger. And my tears is not a sign of weakness. It's the pain that I have been seeing. I'm seeing, still seeing my people go through. My people. I is you and you is me. And together we go into a new Bahamas. And I realized that our country has been leaderless for quite some time. And as a young person, it took me 3 elections to realize that we had no representatives for the Bahamian people. It seems like we have never had a representation. No one to care about the future of our children and our children's children. We are seeing unprecedented kidnappings of our children in Nassau. How did we get to this place? I want to take you all somewhere because this is the reality right now of some of our brothers and sisters of what they're going through right now. Can you imagine going to sleep and your child is missing? You don't know whose hands they are in. You don't know what is going on with them. You don't know. And not knowing is the worst part of it. Our country has been open. The gates have been open. The back door, the front door, and the side door. All kinds of people that don't believe in God are coming into this country. The kidnappings have increased. We cannot sit down, sit idly while our country slips away from us, while our land is being stolen, and it seems like the only plot that you are promised is a plot 6 feet deep.
Yes.
6 feet. And it might be free. That ain't enough. We live in paradise. This paradise is something we all should be enjoying. This should not only be paradise to foreigners. I was living in a bubble. I was living, not really in a bubble, but I was living in a bubble. I'm the type of person that minds my business. But after Hurricane Dorian, and I had to evacuate into Nassau, which is my home. The Bahamas is my home. So it doesn't matter which island I go on, that is my home. When I came into Nassau, and I could see, I could feel the pain and the anguish, the energy coming from our people. It was evident, I can see. I said, God, this isn't it. Right on the red light, in my car. Before I knew a Maria Jackson, before I met a Lincoln Bean, God, this is not it. Fix it. Fix it. And have your way. Didn't know I would end up here. Didn't meet that courageous man, that courageous woman, Cara Ellis. But like Miss Jackson said, God is bringing his people together because God is tired of seeing us like this. And let me tell you something. I don't know about any one of you in here, but the way this country is being operated, it is disrespectful. You are hitting me, but I'm not looking at you hitting my children because it's them who are going to have to pay it with taxes. Who do you think you are? The healthcare system is not good, but you hitting me with taxes. Who do you think you are? The education system is not good enough for my children. Who do you think you are? But let me tell you who they think we are. Garbage. And we have to come to the realization of it. The Coalition of Independence is not interested in mudslinging. We are interested in answers, results. We are interested in answers that we are interested in results. When we say change, we want to see the change. We do not want to hear it. I want to see it. Because we deserve it. We need to stop accepting things. Our politicians are not gods. They are not our bosses. They are here to operate on behalf of you. You. Our children. You have to look in the eyes of your own children, your grandchildren. If you don't have children, your nieces, your nephews, is this country good enough for them? How is it going to be in the next 10 years? Are we going to continue waiting and listening to the promises? Our country is not broke. Our country has a corruption problem. This country is not broke. Whenever they want to party, whenever they want to travel, the money magically appears. And I'm telling you, enough is enough. It is not good enough for us the way that they are running this country. We have to stop settling. We have to stop accepting excuses because we are paying them. We're not paying them for excuses. We are paying them for results. We can look at other countries that are almost the same age as our country, and look at how those countries are developed. But yet we are saying it is a dream. Right? Oh,
a Bahamian in one of the most wealthiest countries in the world say that $100,000, I'm just saying, is a lot of money and it's impossible when, for crying out loud, they're sending spaceships into space.
Right.
Once upon a time, I understand that was impossible too.
That's right.
Before God created Adam and Eve, what did God create? The heavens and the earth. The garden. The garden was filled with resources. The resources was there for man to take care of and for him to use.
Yeah.
The Bahamas is filled with resources. And I want you all to pay attention. We were not educated in school about our country. But people on the outside know more than you.
Yes.
Know more than you, and they're coming in to change.
That's
A
right.
part of our education under the Coalition of Independence is to teach our children civics and about our country. We want our generation to come up educated, and they need to understand their country and what they have. When you understand what you have, you will fight for it. You will protect it. I always say to my family, you are kings and queens and prince and princesses. You are royalty in this country. Therefore, you should deserve to be treated like royalty in this country. You deserve the best from this country. That is your heritage. That's your birthright. No man, no woman, no foreigner, no politician should come and make you slaves in your own country. And this is what the Coalition of Independence is about. Again, I am you. And you are me. And I have taken the vow to fight for you, my country, my children, my children's children. It is time for us to leave true legacy. It is time for us to see the change, to feel the change. We can all agree that this country is under a heavy spirit of depression, stress. We can all agree to that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the season for change. The old weapons of victimization has long passed. And our demonstration of constantly standing up unapologetically to face the government on these corruptions against people should prove to you that the old weapons does not work anymore. They have kept us in captivity of fear for a very long time. They are muzzling us, taking away our freedom, our rights, slowly. Our sovereign wealth fund was taken away from us. Our freedom of movement is being restricted. Our freedom of speech is being censored. What are we waiting for? I know sometimes that when we speak about issues in this country, they always say, why do you always have to politicize everything? Hello. It seems as though the politicians are in things they should not be in. So therefore, when you speak to certain issues in this country, you cannot help speaking about politics. Our politicians should be sitting in our used to be honorable house, drafting legislation and policy on behalf of the people. But instead, they are dealing with for their own personal agendas, under the table contracts, and to hell with the Bahamian people. When last have you seen a bill table in the House on behalf of the Bahamian people for them to benefit?
That's right.
When last have you seen a bill or a policy passed that was in the benefit of the people by the so-called, I will say it, the so-called PLP and FNM that some of us so love to praise? When last has a bill been tabled in the House of Assembly on behalf of the Bahamian people for them to directly benefit and to be placed first by our government? When last? Can somebody answer that? Maybe I missed a memo. It's not about you. All I want to say is they don't really care about us. And that is the truth. It might be a hard pill for most of us to swallow because we are so in love with Papa. Did you all know what he did that is affecting our children today? Do you all know what he did? With the Quieting Act? He removed that. He opened the gates. He opened the gates for our properties. He opened the gates for our properties to be taken away. A lot of our crown land that is being squatted on, remember, it takes a village to raise a child, right? Let me tell you something about our crown land. Our crown land should be there for the Bahamians. We should have, like how they have the shanty town set up, they should be towns set up like the Beansville, the Davisville, not the Nixonsville. Call some more names. I'm driving through, I'm going through Brownsville. Let that be a community. I saw a comment on Facebook when we told persons that we were going down to Blackwood. Someone said, oh no, don't go down there. That's Haitian Nation or Haitian Nation. And I will say this before I even get into that conversation. And I am going to say this unapologetically. First and foremost, Bahamians first. This country is a God-fearing country, and from I was growing up, I know our children, they didn't know better. Some still probably don't. We just can't, we cruel to each other in general. There's bullying all over the place from children. But my thing is, Bahamians do not hate. We are so welcoming. That's in our nature. That's our nature. That's literally who we are. We are a tourist country. We are a country of, we always inviting. We always welcoming to the point where we became servants. We welcome everyone from every culture, from every nation. But the problem is our nature has allowed us to become enslaved. The people that we once welcomed, and this is all people, are now turning around. And they're now, it's like we opened the gates of hell on ourselves. Peace. We cannot keep up with the basic necessities, light, water, medical care.
gotta get people selling this water from our own rock, from our own place.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is something for us to think about. We see a lot of the issues going around in our country, on our islands. Behaviors for once in our lives. We must come together and we must recognize. If your eyes are covered with scale, pray to God that it be removed. Let your ears hear, feel, see, and ask yourself one question. Do you have 100% confidence to put your children's future in the hands of both political parties who has had the opportunity for 50 years to govern our country? Do you think they are willing to go to war for your children's future, for them to have a promising future in this country? Are you safe with leaving them in their hands? These are the questions we must ask ourselves. Most of us are more lovers of a political party than we are of the future of our children, and that is disgusting. Because like I as a young person, it took me pre-elections. And when I saw what was going on, I said, well, what? I said, the Grammy couldn't see this. But then I thought about it. Nation was hitting. There were a lot of lies. And it takes and ceasing eyes unnecessarily in this country,
Yes.
to violence, to crime, medical. Jesus.
Hallelujah. Go ahead.
People died when they did not have to.
That's right.
That works. What is wrong with that? That's all we want.
That's right.
What is wrong with that? And there is nothing. Listen to me. This is a Christian nation. Are we not a Christian nation? So listen to me carefully. I vowed with my life that I am going to stand beside my leaders, our leaders, and we are going to fight for this country.
That's right.
Hell or high water.
Yes.
The victimization, the threats,
That's right.
like we said, they don't own weapons.
That's right.
My life, our life, is in God's hands.
Yes.
We are on a mission.
That's right.
My people deserve everything this country has to offer. We only see beauty when we go on Facebook or Google looking at other countries, third world. Why can't the Bahamas have that? Why? Why? Who is my government or the government to tell us we can't? How? How dare you celebrate, David? Take away the sovereign wealth fund from our people. It is unacceptable. We are adults. We are Bahamians. We are tax-paying citizens. Do you know what this can do for our country? We have a lot of work to do.
Yes, yes.
This organization is here for Bahamians, not for self. This organization exists because someone wasn't doing their jobs. This organization exists because persons like myself are tired. And instead of me sitting around and complaining about it, talking about it, I decided to do something. I am a fighter. I am a warrior. I am a Bahamian. And one thing I will never do is back down. They locked me up 100 times.
That's right.
I get out. They locked me up 101. I don't like it. I don't like it. But I have to do what I have to do. Because we have no choice. We have no choice. They're so used to us just talking about it, complaining about it, crying about it. But they know we're not going to do nothing about it until now. So for Eleuthera, we are going to do our best, and it's going to happen hopefully before election, but who knows when elections is going to be called.
Yes.
We need to start forming ourselves here in Eleuthera. We need to open up branches in Eleuthera. We need persons to be a part of those branches in Eleuthera. We need the word to continue moving on in Eleuthera, even after we leave from here. It is not about the Coalition of Independence. It's about all of us. The Coalition of Independence is basically a group of Bahamians from all different religious and political background who have seen the truth. Because I once was a big supporter of the of the people. Like I said, it took me 2 elections. Remember the last election I went to? When I said all these names, right?
Yeah.
When I saw that Branson and that was coming on, I was like, oh no. And this is what I said. I said, listen, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. He is only coming in to serve himself,
That's
not the people.
Sure.
And guess what? So said, so done. But one thing I did, I still voted. I knew the PLP was going to. Don't like to hear people say, oh, I getting in politics. I'm voting. Politics is it. But listen to me, politics is your life. Politics dictates to you what you eat, the food that comes into our country, the way our children is taught, the way we are served in the hospital, because like I said, politics is in everything. We have to vote. Who knows when a snap election is going to come about? Who knows when a by-election is going to come about? Right. We need to start registering. If we have not, we need to encourage our young people who are able to register to vote to register. This is a war. We do not want our country to end up like certain countries. We have the opportunity to stop a lot of things. God is warning us. He is warning us. Take the warning. Take the opportunity. Let's do something about it. If you are not a member of the Coalition of Independence, I ask you to sign up and support this movement. To sign up and support the movement. See where you can be of assistance to continue pushing this organization. Because we have been carrying this banner for a very long time. And listen to me. I've had my moments.
Oh, yes.
And Mr. Bean could tell you, Maria could tell you,
Oh, yes.
my executive team can tell you. I was like, listen, no, I ain't quitting. I'm tired.
Be all.
This is not easy. The hardest part about this entire thing is changing the mindset of our people. That is exhausting. That is the hardest thing. With all of the information that is out and trying to convince you, we're literally trying to pull people into the land of milk and honey while they are saying it's impossible. I am trying to pull you out of the desert. And they're pulling back. And your hands are bleeding. But you know if you let that rope go. You know if you let the rope go. That's all is lost. Because who else do you see standing up in this country fighting for the rights of all Bahamians? Who else? And I'm not speaking about, now listen, the government is paying some people to come and pretend like they are fighting for you. To pretend like they care. Hence the reason why they will continue blocking Mr. Bean from coming on these talk shows. What are they trying to hide? What do they want him not to say? Why can't they address Mr. Bean? And notice, he's still walking around a free man. Everything he has been saying, and I am sure if they can find something on it, they'll throw him in the cell. So that means everything he was saying. Because they would want to lock him up for libel. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, movement needs all the support from Bahamians because this is about you. If you have not signed up as a member, We ask you to sign up and see where you can fit. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us. We appreciate you. And change is here.
Amen.
Change is here. Thank you so much, Miss Charlotte Green, for your passionate information. Y'all please give it up again for Charlotte. She is so passionate about what she believes in, and she is fighting for each and every one of us, and we truly appreciate you, Charlotte. Now, for moments all of us been waiting for, we've been waiting to hear from the leader of COI, but before he comes on, I want to say to you, in life, you never know where you go or what you gotta do or the encounters you have. But I want to share with you the type of leader that COI has. Some 8 years ago, I would have booked him in Starbucks. 8 years ago, when my book I Am a Cop came out, and at the same time, his book called Identity Crisis came out, and we just ended up talking for a little while, and at no cost. At the time, he had a radio show, and he never knew me, he didn't know me from a can of paint. He invited me on his talk show to talk about and advertise my book. I want to say thank you so much for going on the limb for me, and thank you so much for what you are doing for each and every one of us, even though some of us might not fully understand and grasp the impact of this, because you need all of us to collectively help you. Because I see you many times on the front line, and I'm continuously praying for you. Because what you do, I have never, ever seen any leader in our country do. You not just talk, you are out there on the ground, in spite of the slander, in spite of the violence. I call it violence that has been upon you. The pulling, the tugging, and all this stuff. You still push. And I want you to know this man has a family. And nobody respects the fact that he has a family, loved ones, who cares about him, friends, and they are doing this to him, all because he is exposing and making people aware of the truth. And we as a country need to also stand up when we have leaders that do this. Because at the end of the day, all of us win when this happens. So without further ado, let's hear from this leader, none other than Mr. Lincoln May.
Change ain't coming. Change ain't coming. Good night, everybody. It is a pleasure to be here in Eleuthera, and thank you so much for coming out. Look till you came out. Thank you. Thank you. I love to be here talking to myself. I want to really thank you. Man, I am, before I get to anything, I want to say hello to this family. They got on their shirts, their COI shirt. You're stand up. You're stand up. You're the best looking people tonight. They made their own COI shirt. Thank you all so much. They ready for change. They ready for change. No shirt was selling in Eleuthera, they make their own. That's what you call out with initiative. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Before we start, I wanna do something that's really unorthodox. I got a chance to drive around Eleuthera a little bit. I've been coming to Eleuthera, but this time I drove around with intention to really see what was going on, really talk to people. And this isn't the Eleuthera foreigners going in the beaches.
That's right.
And foreigners taking the government's land.
Yes.
It looks like came on a mission. They stand with you.
That's right.
As we stand with the rest of the Bahamas.
Yes.
Let's take this back. I want you to hold each other in hand. And I can do something about it.
Oh, yes.
Agree with you, sir.
Oh, yes.
Because what I see it, we need some help.
Oh, yes.
But I want you to know that while they say we're being taken over, I want you to open your eyes and see that there's more with us than against us. It ain't just the 400,000. There's millions and hosts of angels that are with us.
Oh, yes.
Protect this land. Because God loves this land.
Oh, yes.
Who been good to some people.
Yes.
And they're taking advantage of our goodness. And they're calling it hate. Because we stand to stand up.
Yes.
But you can call it what you want. You can't have my land. You can call it what you want. But it's behind. Father God, I come before you humbly as your servant. Father God, this is not about me. This is about you and your will. This is about the people of Eluethera who have toiled this land, who have built this land, and now is being taken from underneath them, who have worked for this land, whose fathers and grandfathers left this land for them. This prayer is for Eleuthera, which is the seat of democracy in the Western Hemisphere. 293 years ago, democracy was established in this land, and it is being taken away from us. I pray that you send your warfaring angels to this land to help the people of Eleuthera have the courage to know that they are not alone, to stand with them as they fight for their land, so that it is not taken away from them by foreigners from the north or foreigners from the south. Because this land is our land. And we will share our land, but no one will take our land, because you gave this to us. And you expect us to defend what you gave to us. Father God, I ask you to protect these people, to transform the economy of this country. We have continuously sinned by putting the wrong leaders in place who only care about themselves and not our people. Father God, you said that where there's no vision, the people perish. There has been no vision for Eleuthera, and so the people are perishing. But those days are over, because no one knows Eleuthera better than the people of Eleuthera. And it's time to put the power in their hands. Father God, protect this land and bless this land as we do our endeavor best to take it back. Amen.
Amen.
I didn't come here for that. I came here for that. People of Eleuthera, we can't let this go. Our good, beautiful, our island, gone. And Eleuthera is turned into a ghetto. But we have a mission to take this back. We have invaders who are being aided by our own government.
Yes.
Your own government is helping others take this land over. They're helping them. You can see it. They've been caught. We have released so many documents. They are so afraid of us that they are afraid to even say that we release the documents. But we don't care. We don't care who they say release the documents. Because right now the FNM is doing their best COI impersonation. Pintar is like mini-me. Doing his best to try to say everything you hear me say and do everything they see me do. I don't know what you got the internet up? You are? Okay. I don't know what's going on, but it seems like the PLP and FNM can only talk about what they hear us talk about. And they are repeating it as if like they're not gonna notice. They're not gonna notice that this is what the COI talks about. Hey, let's talk about taking back Bay Street. They want to notice that this is the COI been talking about. Oh, let's talk about the Grand Bahama Portatory. No one is gonna notice. They can only talk about what they hear us talk about. It's like they brought out a whole blueprint for change, and they are doing nothing in their blueprint for change. Have you all ever saw them say, we're doing this, and this is from our blueprint for change. We've accomplished something in there. No, all they're doing is what they hear COI saying and doing. And then they're only saying it, and then they're trying to say it, they're going to implement it in a way that don't benefit you. Before election, what they say? Lincoln being selling dreams. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. Remember that? He's selling dreams. Oh, carbon credits. What is foolishness here? That's a scam. What are you talking about? Don't listen to him. Carbon credits. After election, that's all they was talking about. They was going to take our carbon credits worth billions of dollars and give it to FTX. Whoa. Remember? Yeah. Give our carbon credits worth hundreds of billions of dollars. God didn't let them.
Thank you very much.
God brought down our whole company before he let that happen. The scientists have now said, led by the University of Michigan, have now said that our seagrass alone. Someone say seagrass. Seagrass. Who know what seagrass is? You know what seagrass is? That's the black thing on the beach that you don't like walk on. When you say, Mommy, I ain't walking on that. That's dark. That's your millions right there. The thing we was rejecting and scorning is the thing that's going to transform this nation. I don't walk on seagrass. Well, I guess maybe the Lord put it in our hearts so that we'll preserve it. You don't even walk on it. Don't walk on the grass, God. That grass will worth something one day. And he didn't let us walk on that grass. And now the scientists say the seagrass alone is worth $156 billion. But tell me something. Seagrass is worth $56 billion. Shouldn't that be all the politicians talking about in the House? It ain't nothing else to talk about. The seagrass worth $156 billion alone. This ain't the mangroves and all this forest. You see all that forest you be driving past when you was coming here? Every plant's worth money. Every plant worth money that you drive it by, that's carbon credits. In the House of Assembly rowing about what? What y'all wrong about? Well, one new bill, and the women say they don't want it, and Brave say, well, why y'all just telling me? And boss, $156 billion, and y'all talking about one with domestic violence law? It's already illegal to assault your girlfriend. It's already illegal to assault your boyfriend. It's already illegal. They're distracting you from what's really important. There's no law that allows you to assault someone in a relationship. That's already against the law. But they're distracting you having row in the House of Assembly and having row with the women's movement because they saying we don't like this law. And Brave saying, well, why not just telling me? And they're having big row over that. Because they don't want you talking about the $156 billion. Before election, I knew this, I'd already done the research. But guess what? I couldn't say that because they would say crazy. They would lock me up for sure then. I'd have been in silence. Because I was telling the people about the value of the mangroves. After all the damage from Dorian, the mangroves were about $58 billion. But the replenishment of the mangroves, because you get more credit if you replenish trees that were down trees. The replenishment of the mangroves.
Right. My God. Let's take it down this. My God.
You have no idea the value of what God has given us. But that little foreigner was in Hong Kong. That little white boy in his mash-up short pants and mash-up shirt and peasy hair was in Hong Kong. And then he realized that his company was going down.
Yes.
And he realized that his company had no assets and no value. And he realized he had to find something before Hong Kong got on to him. Because they can lock him up for sure. That ain't Brave them. And he had to find something of value. And then he studied and he saw our carbon credits. And he pumped money into Brave them. To say, listen, I can help you win this election. We win this election. What are the carbon credits? I think
Yes.
they're going to put Brave as the prime minister? Let me pause right there. Your mind if I speak plainly today?
Go ahead. Go ahead. It's the messenger.
Yeah.
What do you expect when you make a man who told you he saw no corruption under the previous PLP? Y'all heard him say that, right? He said that. What do you expect him to do now? If he tell you that ahead of time, I did not see anything wrong in the previous PLP government. You expect him to say now that he see Keith Bell do wrong? That they can investigate Joe Bett for knocking down the police officer? That they go charge the Prime Minister of Abaco with rape and assault? You want to expect him now to say he sees something when he showed you all how foolish we are by telling you all, well, I see nothing wrong with what we do there. And if you all fall for that, well, why must he admit anything now? That's common sense. You all put a gangster.
That's right.
A gangster. I say this for you to hear me for the Brave Davis. You all put a gangster in charge of this country. What else do you expect? Before election, I told you this. I told you that crime was going to be on the rise. I told you that crime was going to be on the rise. I told you that immigration was going to go crazy. The invasion was going to happen. If a man stands up before election, has a rally in the Haitian village, and says, I am one of you and you is me, and I can look out for you. I have always looked out for you. What you expect was going to happen? I don't blame him for what he is doing.
He do that.
If a man used to beat you before you get married, and you marry him, and you complain when he beat you,
All right.
you agree to that, you sign off on that.
Still married, man.
If the woman used to abuse you before you get married and neglect you,
You marry her?
and she didn't want to cook for you, and you marry her, how do you complain after you get married?
Thank you.
You make up your bed, sleep in it.
That's all it is.
So we knew the corruption before this. Now we're experiencing it. And you going different? I don't blame them. So back to my I see saying, oh, Lincoln, they got this book, and I gave a check when I get back. So I didn't warn you, or they come in the check. They got this book inside Book World.
Oh, yeah.
If I meet that book in there, I can call for that place, because I don't just go off pictures. I just deal with facts. They got this homosexual book for children inside Book World and Stationers on Marquis Street.
Oh my God. Move it before we reach. Hurry up.
Mr. Wong, or whatever you name, Lincoln being coming.
Thank you.
I advise you to move that book off the shelf. You know, 1 to 9 year olds need to be looking at no one doing any funny business in our country. I come and see. And then me and you will have a problem. But what do you expect when you put Fred Mitchell in the house?
All right.
Every time you put him in the house, these kind of things come up.
Right.
Every time. Without fail. And you expect something different this time? The man has turned the entire Ministry of Foreign Affairs into Sodom and Gomorrah. Some staff from there just talked to me on Thursday.
Me too.
So you can't work these fellas. Mr. Bean trying not to get locked up. Trey got this bunch of sissy fellas, and they begging you ball. And I trying not to get locked up. And we keep. How could? What's happening in Foxhill? How can Foxhill don't do foolishness? You keep putting this man in the house, then vote him out, then put him back in, then vote him.
Yeah.
That's no disrespect, Fred Mitchell. He's old enough to be my mother. But I say this stuff jokingly, but I'm serious. We know what happens every time we put the PLP back, and then we still put them back. We know, you know what happened. You know what happened when you take that fella back. You know what happened. You know exactly what happened. Then you take him back, and you go to your mommy complaining, man, mommy. You know what was gonna happen. Now everybody crying. But you know that was gonna happen. So now, okay, you're crying now. So next time, what? You can put the F and M back? You know what has happened when you put the F and M back. You know what has happened. They get arrogant. They talk to you any kind of how. They put laws in place. They tax you to death. And they put laws in place for the rich.
That's right.
And the rich rape you. But you talk pin tax? So I didn't come here to talk with them today. I came to talk with us. When us, I mean the Bahamian people and the Eleuthera. But I just had to put that there because they, the people who are victimizing us, who have been doing so for 50 years, we've been falling for it. And if you don't wake up, you'll be in problems. Mark my words. This is the last election that we are going to be the majority. After that, it's over. You better talk to your family and your friends and children. You better evangelize. This is it. Bahamians are leaving this country in droves. We are turning into them. We leaving our country. The children ain't coming back. I can tell you in a minute how we can fix all this. But our carbon credits are worth hundreds of billions. Now, this stuff I couldn't say before election because they would say crazy. But Alfred says, and Philip Brave Davis went in the House of Assembly and told you it's worth $33 trillion with a T. And that are my words, right? That's their words. That's their Alfred says, and Philip Brave Davis. That's their words. Let's do some maths. All right? So if the seagrass alone, before we touch anything else, is worth $156 billion. We believe it's 150,000 Bahamian adults, 21 and over. No win, nothing yet. When you reach 21, then you can start getting yours. Until then, your parents deal with you. 150,000 us. It's only about 200,000 adults. $156 billion. That's more than $1 million for every Bahamian adult. Now, that don't mean you give everyone $1 million. That tells you what the value is, what you could get. Because if we go to referendum and you all say, well, give us $1 million, and you get, that's your money. Now, if you say, give us 100,000 and put the rest in investments for the country to help us grow, then that's your money.
Oh, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, when we didn't know it was different, we didn't know. They lied to us. They came in their fancy coat suit, and Query Christie came in his fancy words, and half of the words he used to say wasn't real words. Because I used to pick up my dictionary and say, hold on, what that word he just said? Let me find that. You know, I must see can't spell it. Let me try to Google this. That ain't no real word. But we just thought, well, he intelligent, so it must be a real word. I understand what it means, but he must be smart. It must be made something. And he come with his fancy talk, and then he start having a seizure in front of us, and oh yeah. Let him take everything from us. Yeah, all of you, have everything. Oh, Perry, we have you. You don't see how we had that seizure in front of all of us? I must see them big words, give him that seizure. And give him everything. And then we listen to Hubert Alexander Ingram. Well, he say, you know natural resources. And Perry say, you know natural resources. You see, I say it, my best friend say it, it must be true. Say what happened? Actually, they told you in school too, the Bahamas has no natural resources. And it wasn't until, now people have been talking about natural resources for a long time. People have been trying to say, you know, you had a lot of people talking about all this stuff. You had KCX and Prescott Smith and all these fellas, Campbell and all these people, they see out and they've been talking about this stuff. But what we did was we brought you the documents.
That's right, they did. That's right, that's right.
And we showed you the proof. We wasn't talking philosophy. We came and we said, okay, Ingram, you say we don't have no natural resources? Well, why your signature on this document giving away billions of dollars of our natural resources? Huh? If it ain't, that's your signature. All right, if you don't know natural resources, why is Mr. Thompson from the PLP signature on this document giving away billions of our natural resources? This is our Aragonite giving away? And you're giving away our limestone and our rock? Your signatures on these. But y'all pretending ain't no natural resources and lying to us. And then when we started talking about it, what do? They sent Romy Ferreira to say, hey, the Aragonite is only worth $2 million. There's $2 million. Well, who told you that? 3 birds and a goat. And it's like they feel that they could just come and say anything, and because the minister says it, because that's how it used to be. You just respected them. You wanted to believe that they were truthful. But now you're starting to see the lies. You can see it. Because they're still arrogant with it. Because they don't know what else to do. They just lying like children. You know, the icing all over the child face. They say, they do eat that cake? Like Keith Bell, the evidence all over him. Keith Bell, what you doing over there? Nothing. I behaving. They lying on me. Lincoln Bar, don't listen to him. But our natural resources is worth something. It's worth a lot. When we didn't know, I expect you to wear a red and yellow shirt. Now that we know, you have to be an absolute fool. I can't say it any differently. And the reason is because the FNM doesn't show you, you ain't getting that. Did you hear Pitt say anything where Brave Davis ended the Sovereign Wealth Fund? Not a peep. When Brave Davis said the carbon credits and put it in his name, the Prime Minister's name, you heard Pitt say anything? Not a word. He ain't getting no more tripping. Not a word. Because they have no plans on you getting that. This is not about the money. This is about a country where we can be put first. This is about ending the corruption. Because that is what COI is about, putting you first and making sure you benefit, making sure that the Bahamas is for Bahamians. That's what this is about. If you have for $100,000 that they always talk about, you misled. That ain't what this is about. This is about getting our country back so that no one else can take this from us. Leaving something for your children. Our children are now going away to school and leaving for good. We are not building a home for them to come back to. We have failed. We have failed, y'all. We don't need no electricity. I can talk loud. And I'm very dark. So when I go off, just look for the darkest spot. That's I'm proud of my blackness and my Bahamianness. I'm a Bahamian. So we are going to take power away from the politician and we're going to put it in our hands. Because I'm sure you're all tired of trying to call your MP and they change their number. Well, we can change the system so that you don't need to call them. You know, you don't need their number. They can be trying to call you. They can be trying to call you and say, man, listen, I need this done in Exuma. You all can't get this. No. Too bad for too long. Right. You ain't gonna need the PLP ones especially. Thank you very much. Listen, we are going to have our in states. All the complaints that I see in Eleuthera, in Abaco, in Grand Bahama, in Andros, everywhere we've been, all the complaints can be resolved in 2 simple things: island states and city government. That's what we're going to do. Let me break this down. Thousands of people is on there watching. A lot of Eleuthera people on there too. All right. Let me break this down. How we're going to. And this is very important because you have to change the system. The system is the problem. And so these fellas have been too powerful. They keep the power in their hands because they want to determine if you get a speed bump or a dock. They determine if you get a stop sign or a bridge. Are over. So let me tell you how we can take someone say, oh, Lincoln them, they just doing it because they want power. We want the people to have power. Because we tired of living in a country that nothing works. Nothing, nowhere works. And we have the solution. We have the solution. And it's simple. No one can serve you better than you can serve yourself. You know, I opened a shoe store in the Western Hemisphere out of DSW in the States, right? I was fighting our homes and about this, when it's breaking down the church and the homes in Pinewood, and mysteriously my place got burned down, right? I'm blaming your Awak homes, but you're a suspect, right? When I was doing the research for this store, I had never seen women's shoes. Real men don't even notice your shoes. Yours wear the nicest, sexiest shoes. We don't look at them. We never even look at your fortune. We don't look at no shoes. I'm sorry to tell you, all right? The whole package together with the shoes is like, okay, yeah. But looking at your shoe, we don't do that. If a man looking at your shoe too much, that's when the friend people. Right? Yeah, yeah. I don't like that shoe. Put on the next one. Run. Anyway, when that business opened, I was in the school, and I was sitting down because we had these big in London, all right? So I was there when I was open. I just invested in it. And they were sending me all the shoes so I could look through them. And so I'll be in law school. I wasn't be listening. I'd record it on video, and I would be there going through looking at shoes. And you know, one of the students came out, like, beautiful white girl. She came to me. Are you gay? She made me gay. Oh, she said, but you're looking at my shoes. But in any event, I invested, open the place. But I came and I did research before I go into anything. Research is that's what I love to do. And so I went and I sit down in John's for hours. I'd be the only man in there. I sit down in John's shoes and look and see the people, the women coming out complaining, want you and coming out mad or not getting nothing and coming out mad for someone to serve you and then when they serve you, they go back forever and come back and say, yeah, for too big. You know, and so people were complaining. And I said, you know what? Let me go to the US and do some Thursday. I went and I saw that all the stores were selling Payless, DSW. It's like, they don't do that in the Bahamas. Oh, I'm going to bring the first one because no one can serve you better than you. And so this is why we're going to bring city government, also known as a municipal government, to the Bahamas. Why? Because no one can serve you better than you. Now, let me explain how this works to you. Island states first. Island states, your man, if I take off my jacket, I wanted to be sexy beyond, but you know, yeah.
I should stop this recording.
Thank you, man. I used to work with him at Central Police Station. Island states. The power of America is that there are 50 countries in one. That's what makes them so powerful. The European Union realized that and they decided to form a union, that amount of countries in one. The power of the Bahamas is we can be over 20 countries in one. We got 700 islands. We focus on the ones that are inhabited now. We can be over 20 countries in one. If we leave the island economies alone and stop stealing from it, you are being robbed blind. You could put $100 million into the economy and get $2 million back. And then you could be shaking pom-poms voting for the people who are robbing you while you don't have no proper health care, while you're dropping in potholes, while the electricity can't stay on, while your water can't stay on, but you got more than enough water. So you have more than enough money to supply your water, to supply your electricity, to supply your hospital. Island states mean that your money will stay in your economy. You will pay, that's clap, that's a good place to clap. You see how we can change the system? You're not going to take your money, send it to some politicians in Nassau, and then hope they build you one bridge. Why the glass window bridge still look like that? Because you're waiting on the politicians in Nassau to fix it. And the last quote they gave for that, they should get locked up. $20-something million for one slab of bridge. Jail. That's right.
That's 20 clinics, eh, Lincoln?
Paradise Island Bridge ain't got that. They was gonna rob you all. But in any event, when you make your money in your economy, you pay a royalty to the central government so that we can still run the central essential stuff like the police, education, that kind of stuff. But you keep your money in your economy. You have your own budget. Local government is a sham. Yeah. Because you don't have a real budget and no real authority. So we don't need to go to referendum to go to change the law on this, because you have the local government law. We just have to modify that law, and now you will have island states where your money stays with you. All right, and now we have all these states in one to make all of us better. All right. Eleuthera could have an economy that rivals Barbados, Bermuda, Cayman, Eleuthera alone. Same thing for Andres. Same thing for Grand Bahama and New Providence and some of our southern islands, because we got some vision for them. If we make them that big, we could have $100 billion economy in no time. This without considering the carbon credits and the natural resources. It's just from their existence. Singapore has a similar economy to ours. They got a $500 billion economy. Jesus. They ain't got no natural resources, nothing. They just have government with vision working for them. Back to my point. And so now that you have your island state, where you have your autonomy, you have you're able to local laws to govern you, because no one knows you better than you. It's similar because, see, you know what we're going to do? Get rid of the king.
Yep.
We're going republic. We're going right back to election when we win. We're going to referendum and we're getting rid of the king. So we're going to have a republic state. We don't want a republic like Barbados them. That's still the Westminster system they're working with. We are going to have a republic like the United States, where we have a president and a vice president who deals with the central government. And then you have each island has its own government. Island has its own governor and its own lawmakers who can determine it and do certain things in their own areas. Yes. All right? And they make determination, and you vote for the people who are going to be leaders. No more will the commissioner of police be a puppet of the prime minister. Because that's the reason we're here tonight, when we were supposed to be in the workers' hall. Because the police, for money, weeks ago we paid the police, we paid them for the hall, we paid for the hall that the police controlled weeks ago. For the workers' hall, we paid for that, and they wait till today, to tell us, oh, y'all can't use the hall because the toilet's clogged. Well, get a plunger, because you have our money. Take something out of them hundreds of dollars we give you and buy a $5 plunger and unclog the toilet. Right. And so then the story come back. The real story is that you all didn't give us the money in enough time for us to get authorization from Nassau. That's the story. I'm saying this publicly. So in my opinion, you all stole our money because we didn't get the money back yet. We get the money back yet?
No.
Huh?
No.
We get it now. Oh, she said we got it now. All right. So the thief bring the money back to the bank. They're wrong. So I guess after they realized we get this, and I went live and spanked them up, they find their money. All right? But it's wrong when the commissioner is a puppet of the prime minister. Again, our mission is to take power away from the prime minister, from the president, and from all of the politicians. Yes. I ain't looking for power. I'm looking to take power, put some rules in place, and then go and retire and enjoy my life. Sharon don't want to travel, I must take a travel to it. And so city government means that you have your municipal government. So we'll turn, I'll give Nassau for example, areas next to each other, like Seabreeze, Pinewood, Nassau Village, Golden Gate, these areas near each other with the same socio-economic status, they become a city. All right. And so now this city has its own budget and they determine what they do in their city. I see people in Pinewood been crying for almost 40 years about the flooding. It's a $10 million problem. $10 million. The Prime Minister's travel budget is $86 million for this term. Over 16 a year, not including surprise stuff like the trips to England and the Queen dying, all this kind of stuff. All right? So it's really more. It could be $100 million. But you can't take $10 million and fix that flooding problem that our homes created. That is the F&M and PLP that made billions of dollars from the backs of poor single mothers who wanted to get out of Camp Road and be and have a house of their own. Y'all can't fix that problem? But anyway, a man from Pinewood coming to fix that problem. Since y'all don't know what to do. All right? And so if the people of those neighborhoods were able to fix their own problems, don't you think they would have voted for that? Mm-hmm. That would have been fixed a long time. But the problem is, every time before the election, they promise, oh, we're going to fix the problem. Yeah. Then they come back and say, yeah, I tried. It's trying to, yeah, we can do it. It's coming right now. And all the MPs say, coming right now. And they don't never come. And you sit down waiting on them. All right? Because now you will determine what you need in Eleuthera. Because if you could have determined what you needed in Eleuthera, you would have had a hospital a long time. You make a detour right there. While I talk about city government. Hey. So they give you dirt. They give you dirt. That's dirt. They don't give you a hospital, but they give you dirt. There's a clinic on the water by Governor Day. And that's another reason I felt drawn to pray. That was given to the people of Eleuthera in 1965. The plaque's still inside. I read it.
Oh my God.
The plaque's still inside. In 1965, that was given to you. And the land was given by the Pritchards. And the building was also donated, right, by another husband. And the renovation. So the renovations were started under Heinz. Right? Election came 6 months later. And then when the contractor went to them and said, well, we got to continue. We got to finish this. All right? Petty was a contractor. All right? Let's investigate. All right. I don't know things halfway. And so, and I called names. And so they owe Petty for $300,000. Petty don't know I know this, but I'm speaking out to you, Petty. All right. So when this government come in power and the contractor say, well, okay, we got to finish this thing, you know, we need the clinic up, people need dentists and all that kind of stuff. We almost there. All this work was done. I look and I saw all electrical done, redone, all the plumbing redone. All the steel inside the building redone. Change every piece of steel inside that building. Beautiful building. So much potential. That could be a hospital. All right? They tell him, you trying to make Hank look good, eh? We ain't finishing that because it's gonna make Hank look good.
What?
What's the man name? Clay Sweden.
Clay Sweden?
Clay Sweden. You told the contractor you're not gonna finish that because it would make Hank look good. So the people here are suffering because they don't want to make their predecessor look good. Every election they have this back and forth. All it says is over. It ain't over who look good, you know. It's over who get the contract. They want to do something somewhere else and let someone else do it so they can follow that money. It's a corruption.
That's right. That's highest level.
All right. And so I went to the little small hospital down the road. It's not a hospital, clinic. That little, yeah, yeah, house they rent. They charge you? Oh wow! I went there. I ain't comment because all of y'all know that it's shameful. It's shameful that you don't have a proper hospital, which you could have had. The land, the building free. You just had to renovate, put in the equipment. Nothing. The whole budget was 1.6 billion. They just spent more than that on one of Fred trips.
That's right.
Where's entourage? You better wake up. When they went to England the other day, they spent more than that on one trip. Huh? They have the money. They're messing with us. This is why we have to take the power back and let us decide. In America, Joe Biden don't determine what happens in Florida. That is business. Florida makes its own money. They do what they have to do. In fact, the Florida government in Tallahassee can't tell Miami what to do. They have their own budget, and they determine what they do. And so this is how we can change the game. No one is going to tell you what, no politician from Nassau is going to tell you what you need. That's how we can change the game. See, they're scared to lose power. Oh, they just don't want to get in the house now. Oh, you can't let them take over. Power gone. You will let the people determine what they need? Yes. I've come to take power away from the powerful and give it to the people. That's right. It's my only mission. That's my mission. All right? Because the real idea should come from the people. If you empower your people, they will come up with the ideas and all the things that need to be done. Let me give you an example. The government gives you your hospital. They give you your emergency room. All right? But guess what? Dr. Lightburn. Anyone ever heard of Dr. Lightburn? Arlington? Dr. Lightburn built a health center, a wellness center. And we taught that wellness center today. This is a regular civilian who raised the money from these second home owners, these foreigners that come love you all and believe in you all. And they pump the money into it because they want to be safe when they come here. They want to have a place to go to emergency room if something happens. You know, they like swim with sharks and things. So if something happens and the shark nibble on their toe, they want a place to go to stitch the toe back on. And so they invested on that, not just for y'all, but for them. And so I went there and I was thoroughly impressed. That's $1 million budget. Well, you mean tell me Brave can't find $1 million to give your husband? They make you all feel that ain't no money there for nothing. Until it's time for them to party. Sorry, man, 2 minutes. There's never no money until it's time for them to party. And so they have an emergency room there. They're now adding hospital beds where you could be overnight if you want to. They adding a theater in there, a dentist area in there. If that man could do that,
You mean tell me the government who you all paying to do that ain't gonna do it? And you all know when you go to the library and you all ain't got it, he still let you go through, right? Yeah. But this is how we're gonna change the game, by empowering the people. Because if you all get your hands on 1 million or 2, you all gonna do that. Let me tell you why that's unfair. You all paying more taxes than us in Nassau. So, yeah. Where do we get the majority of our taxes from? VAT and customs duties. But right? Bread costs more here than in Nassau, right? So you all paying more VAT, right? Gas costs more here than in Nassau, right? So you all paying more. Everything costs more here. Exactly. So you all paying more taxes. Why you all getting less benefits? Oh, yeah. It's time for you all to stop getting robbed. You see how important what I'm saying is? The simple method could change the game for every single family island. You all pumping the money into the economy too? Huh? You can't get what? Oh, Lord. I can let you all talk in a minute. I come at you in a minute. But I just want you all to understand how we're going to change the game. We're not just talking this off the top of our head. We have to change the system. This is easy to do. This could be done like that. Because you already have local government. Just go in the House of Assembly and you say that the chief council is now going to be called the mayor. And then you have a council where people can come and vote on what needs to happen. All right. And so every month they come and say, this is what we're going to do. At the end of the year, they say, this is our budget. And this is what we want to do. This is the amount of money we have. And we're going to account for this money properly. And this is what we want to happen in our community. We want this, that, and that. And so now, guess what happens? If you don't fix your speed bumps, you can't blame the president. You do that. If your mayor don't put your speed bumps in, you fire him. You see, now you have accountability. You ain't sitting now saying, man, we got to be here for 4 years, and he ain't doing what he's supposed to do, and we can't catch up with him. No. You have a mayor who's responsible. Boss, you fired. Right. Next. You see the accountability now? The role of politicians will now be to create laws. That's it. We're not coming in the community and coming with boots on, walking in the water, saying, "Hey, we're gonna fix the drainage in this community, and we trust me. We can fix it." No. You all can now say, "We got that." Get in the house and go make the laws to empower us. That's their only job. You see how we can take power from the politician? This sound good to y'all?
Yes.
You're looking forward to the New Bahamas?
Yeah.
In the New Bahamas, the Bahamians, the people will have the power. We're going to change the game. And now we're going to have qualified people in the executive, in the cabinet. In America, the president picks his cabinet from qualified people in the country. You don't have to pick from the MPs, all right, and 2 or 3 from the senators. You can pick qualified people. The problem we have now is you'll end up with a Renwood Wells as Minister of Health. Jesus. All right, you'll end up with them. And then they come in and they act like God just downloaded everything but health in their head and they know what to do and how to do this. And you don't know that about health. All right. And so you won't have that problem anymore because the reason qualified people don't go into elections is because they play dirty and they'll destroy your name. And it's a small country. And so if a professional goes in there and they start dirtying and lying on him, listen, I get it every day. I sit down and laugh at the stories they tell. 1 minute I can't travel, next minute I squat in this. They come in a different story every week, and I just have fun. You know, I feel love that they spend all their time paying attention to me. Like they literally sit up in the middle of the night thinking with me. No problem with that with Fred though. voice notes, 2 o'clock in the morning, talking about me. Anyway. And he's calling me the devil. he just say, get thee behind me, Satan. Fred, I ain't never going in the back of you. You gotta worry with that. That ain't never gonna happen. I don't go that way. Just get back on track. And so now you can pick qualified people who didn't have to go through the dirty election process that the rest of us have to survive. All right, to go in there to make the change. And so now, see, go and pick someone who's a professional in the health field and make him the Minister of Health. He can someone who's a professional. You could grab a Colin Powell and say, look, all this experience, we're going to put you in national security. Knows that qualified people are going to go there. You let the Senate vet them. We could be voting for the senators too, by the way. But you let the Senate is not going to be a rubber stamp no more.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so, yeah, the upper house will be the upper house, and you will get vetted by the senators. That's where your vetting is, and then you will get appointed. The same thing for the judges, etc. You vote for judges. So plenty crooked judges.
Oh yeah.
In the world, many crooked judges in the world. The judges appointed by the prime minister. So when Ingram in, he'll say, okay, let me put Michael Barnett, that's my boy, let me put him in there. Brave is in. Brave just put in 5 PSB judges.
Yes.
Some cases you see going in front of the same judge. It's kind of
odd.
I ain't saying nothing out of the way by this, right? Because I can't say nothing, you know. But I had a case in the Supreme Court. It went in front of Cheryl, right?
Cheryl, okay.
Yeah. Right? I ain't saying nothing about that, but okay, I know this. I see that. What the fella name? Who they about to get rid? We about to have a by-election. Long Island.
Adrian Gibson.
Going in front of. Yeah, who else got in front of Cheryl? Yeah, you know, and the Haitian matter.
Yeah.
The Shantytown matter. Going in front of Cheryl, right? And it may just be a coincidence, but you know, only certain things I could say, but you know, so I can't say she do nothing wrong, but you know, what I'm saying is that it would be better for democracy if the judiciary have their own budget so that they don't have to depend on the prime minister to give them a budget. All right, they have their own autonomy. You see how we taking power away from the prime minister? I ain't looking for power.
Thank you very much.
I can empower the people.
Yeah.
Give the judiciary their own budget.
Yeah.
Right? They don't have to beg no one for nothing. All right, that's their budget. And you vote for the judges. They got to do it in the states.
Yeah.
So the judges are not a puppet. You have a good reputation. We know about you. We believe in you. You don't have a crooked reputation. You don't always make a decision that seems to be leaning towards the PLB. All right, because when you start doing that, okay, next election we can deal with you.
That's right.
Yeah, because the people have to determine this democracy. Oh, you did what with the Shantytown? We can't touch them? Oh, okay. So election coming fast.
Thank you.
Okay. And this is how we're going to change the game. All right. So again, I don't know. I can't say of any wrongdoing any judge in this country has ever done. They're all decent, good, Christian people. But we can change the game to protect their reputation, eh?
That's right.
To their benefit and to our benefit. And so this is how we're going to change everything. And so now you can fix your roads and you can have proper engineering on your roads. Me and Maria was having this conversation, like she said. And I said, Maria, You know, because they talk about the roads and the roads always. They'll fix it and they'll get holes right away and all that. I say that's because they don't do the roads properly. They give the contract to some crony to funnel money to him and they get piece of it. You got to pay them piece of it. And that's how they do the roads. I say, okay, do you notice the Chinese did the airport road in Nassau? You ever see any potholes in that? Not a piece of pothole. All these years, not one pothole in that road. Right. The foreigner, the Spanish company, did Harold Road. You see any potholes in that part of Harold Road when they build? Y'all think about that. We don't have that. They don't do proper engineering. They are taking tar and putting it on top of dirt. That's what they're doing. That's where the water come and move it and shake it up. They're not doing proper engineering. Man, listen, man, we are perishing because of lack of vision. All right? So if you are able to do this, you will want your money to be spent properly, right? Yeah. So you are going to hire the proper engineers, or you're going to tell your behavior people who got the contract, you can do this road properly, or you're going on the block list. You ain't got no contract no more. You ain't got to worry about that. All right? And we can have a proper system. The roads don't have to flood. Nassau was sinking the other day. Nassau was with 10 foot underwater. Yes. There needs to be no flooding. There are parts of Florida, etc., where you always drive that have the same problem, but they don't flood. You don't even know they have flooding problem because they pump the water out. Yes. I released a solution and released before election. The solution for Pinewood would be the same solution for every part of Nassau and every Atlantic zone, etc., that has flooding. They do a reservoir under a park that you don't even know that it's there. All right. And it takes the water from in the community, puts it underground and holds it there. And then when the water table goes down, then you pump it out. Someone say you pump it straight out the ocean. No. If you pump it straight out the ocean, the water table is still high. Yeah. You wait till it goes down and then you pump it out. All right. And so we are ready to take this country to the next level. We are ready to invest in Eleuthera, not by us giving Eleuthera money, but by letting Eleuthera invest in Eleuthera. Eleuthera was a farming mecca. Yeah. They killed it. Billion started it, Negro finished it. They killed it because the oligarchs are making $1 billion to $2 billion a year importing fake food, poison food, bad food. So now instead of getting healthy food, you're getting breast cancer. You're getting stomach cancer because you're eating for export only. But now you could go back into farming because we could change them rules that ain't going to put in there to kill it. And we are going to invest billions of dollars in our farming industry to feed ourselves and the world because we are going to grow organic fruits. Organic, that the world wants, that Whole Foods and other companies all about in Europe and these other countries that they want. And we're going to export organic, real food to the world. That's all I can say for tonight. There's so much more I wanted to say. But that's all I can say tonight because I want to hear from you. I know it's late, but I really want to hear from you. I'm sure you have some questions. I'm here to answer your questions. I always open up for questions. I ain't got nothing to hide. And everything I've talked about, I've researched thoroughly. I know upwards and downwards, frontwards and upside down. And so let's talk. The electricity problem in Eleuthera, we go in solar, man.
Thank you very much.
We go in solar. The only reason they have not gone solar is because Focal is making the money from selling the oil. They say, oh, it's not Focal, it's what you call him, Shell West. Focal is the agent in the Bahamas for Shell West. All right? They are making the money. That's why they're making the money from the generator have parts. And they're making the money by selling the parts to the government. That's why they want that to happen. Solar ain't got no parts. You know, moving parts. The maintenance will be gone. There's almost no maintenance. And we will make enough money from just placing the solar there from carbon credits that it will be able to pay all the staff that we need, and we'll get extra money. They don't want to do that. But they are going to try in the next term. They are going, if you let them get back in, they are going to let Focal invest in the solar because they have to go 30% solar by 2030. So they're going to let them invest in the solar and then they can send you free sun energy and they can rape you. All right? So now they can make money from the oil no more. They can make money because they can invest in the solar and then sell it to you and it will cost them nothing to sell it to you. Nothing. All right? Your water, your electricity is going to be free. The solar is free, right? The sun free, right? Your electricity is going to be free. We know how we're going to do this. All right? And our carbon credits is going to pay for it. Your water is going to be free. It costs water and sewage $17 million to provide water to the entire Bahamas. All we got to do is get rid of Brave travel budget, and we can give the whole Bahamas free water and still have change. They have money for what they want. But there's other things we go offer, but I want to open the floor because it's getting late. I want to open the floor for you. I want to hear from you. If you have a question or you want to make a statement, please let us know. Thank you all. Remember, change ain't come in.
Change is here.
All right. Questions? Go ahead. Okay, she asked about the education program. She asked about the education program that we're going to implement. We are going to implement a groundbreaking education program. We're going to change the entire system. It's on our website, so it's like a 2-hour program that you can see there, because I can't explain it in a couple of minutes. It's on our website, but we realize that different people learn differently. And so we are going to assess them at a very young age so that we know if they have disabilities or we know if they learn differently. Some people are academically inclined, some people are dexterous, which means they learn with their hands. And so we're going to identify that very young. Some people are sports oriented. So we're going to pull those ones out at an early age. We see their potential and we're going to teach them differently. All right. And so there's 8 learning styles that people have, and we're going to focus on them. We put together our education program. Professionals from in the Bahamas and from around the world assisted us in that. We also consulted with the Bahamas Union of Teachers. When we put that together, we did research in Finland and these other countries where their education system is phenomenal. Places like Japan, where the children, like, they don't want to stop learning. And they have their school for 10 hours a day. Quite exaggerating, but that's how it is. And so we're going to change the education system. And there's a lot of stuff in there. Really want you to go watch that because I can't really go into everything right now. But we're going to transform the educational system so that our children are transformed. But some highlights in there. You're going to learn about civics and the Constitution because everyone needs to know the law. So the politicians can't lie to you like how people are doing now. All right. So, we're going to add business courses to high school, business, finance, and investing. Science. Because we're not looking to raise a generation of laborers. We're looking to raise a generation of owners. Right. And so we're going to change the educational system because become a doctor, you could fail because you don't know business. Because when you open your office, what is that? Business. But if you only know being a doctor, you have a problem, right? If you become a lawyer, that's business. As a plumber, you're doing business. But they don't teach us business. They teach us to be laborers. So we're going to transform the game and change it. Go to our website, coalitionofindependence.com, and watch that. It's 2 hours, but all the information is there. And there's also a place in there for you to add your comments to it and your suggestions that we can add to it because we're redoing our vision for next election. Yes, they did. The education with sports and all that kind of stuff, we're going to identify. We're going to be teaching agriculture because we now have to be feeding ourselves with food. We got 700 islands just sitting there. They ain't doing nothing with crocodile and islands. But why we ain't growing something or doing something there? All right, so we are going to grow food for the world. All right, we can do that. And so agriculture is there. In terms of sports, there's certain sports that no one should be able to beat us in. Right? We're going to identify the ones where people have examples, track and field, and then no one should beat us in any water sport. No water sports, because we're surrounded by water. All right, sailing, we did that back in the day. That was our first medal. But now we should be dominating sailing in every form. We should be dominating swimming, all right? And all of the water sports we should be dominating in. And so we're going to focus on those. Basketball, because we have examples of Bahamians who did good. And basketball is Bahamian men religion. All right, that's our religion. Everyone believes they can play basketball better than everyone else. And so we should have more athletes in the NBA than we do. We're going to invest in track and field. We are going to hire the coaches from other countries to bring them here initially, and as they train our coaches to be better coaches, then we can do that. The athletes in Jamaica train in Jamaica. Our athletes train in America. All right, so they are late bloomers. We got to train our athletes and focus on them while they are here. We have to pay whatever to do it. We're going to invest in that because it's a return on investment. When they see the Bahamas across that chest, that's investment. All right, they remember the Bahamas. All right, not just Jamaica and America. Next question. Yes. Okay, Hatchet Bay. She says that BAIC, just repeat it because they can't hear you online. BAIC keeps telling us that we don't have any land. How come is that? Because they keep in the land. Listen, land is empowerment. It is the most valuable natural resource. Everything is in the land. Diamonds and gold is in land, right? If you want to grow, you got to grow in land. If you want to do business, you got to do it on land. If you want to have a town hall meeting, be on land. Even the ocean is on land. Think about that. All right? Land can empower you. They don't want to give it to you. And that's why a big part of what we are offering to the public is you are going to get your land. They're lying to you. Remember they used to say no more crown land in Nassau, right? No, they've said that for years. No more crown land in Nassau. Then when we go on in the well fields in the back there, Jamaica Road, and we take the land because that's our land, and we dare to move us because you ain't gonna move the high shit, but you will move us? No, we're moving. So we went on there and take our land, and then they come and say, hey, they're on the government crown land. They're trespassing on crown land. Oh, we got crown land now? I thought they said it wasn't no crown land. Huh? But now it's crown land? They're lying. They're giving it to foreigners. They just hired 7 foreign land surveyors at Lands and Survey. 7. That's true. 7 foreign. And the one who runs it is foreign. They've always had a foreigner running Lands and Survey. You know, white British man there. All right, Hardy. No, Hardy. Not Bannister. Hardy is in charge. Not the survey general, in charge of Lands and Survey. All right. And so they've always had these foreigners say, we gotta take this back, man. Land is too valuable. That's a national security issue. All right. And so we are gonna make sure that every Bahamian gets a piece of the land, not just the crown land. You know, it's 3.5 million acres of crown land. That don't count the generation property. Government's land. They don't want to give you access to the generation property to get title because that's money. Because if you get a few acres of that, it's valuable, right? That's what they don't want. They don't want to empower you. Right? So all the stuff they do with land is because they don't want to empower you. Like I told you, I met with Brave Davis before election about the natural resources, about the carbon credits. And he said, everything you're saying is true. He said, in fact, it's more valuable than you're saying. All right, it's way more valuable than you're saying. He said, no. He said, but you can't give it to them because then they can need you. He said, what? Philip Brave Davis told me, and I'm saying this again, if I lie, then you can lock me up. And I know you all want to lock me up. Philip, if I'm lying, there's your chance. You told me that you are not going to give the Bahamian people benefits from their sovereign wealth fund, the carbon credits, because then they will not need you. You told me that. He said you got to give it to, he said, I old school. He said you give it to a few people and then let them provide jobs. Jobs?
That's all he
I told him that makes you my enemy.
That's all he take off.
I want to take it and give it to the people. Now they can say all kind of stuff about me. They can attack me. But they ain't attacking me because of me. They're attacking me because they don't want you have what belongs to you. That's why they're attacking me. That's why they have all this stuff to say with me. Because they don't want you have what's yours. Every Bahamian, black Bahamians, white Bahamians, I don't care where you're from, I don't care where your grandma from. You're Bahamian, that's yours. That's yours. All of us need to get what is ours, and that's what they're keeping from us. And so our mission is to give it to you. You get in your line. All right? From week one, we are going to put whatever in place. We're going to table from week one of us being in the house once we signed in. We're going to table a bill saying that every existing, that means right now, Bahamian adult is entitled to an acre of crown land immediately. And so as long as you are presently alive, you come and you get your crown land. That's yours. I'm saying this on video recording that's going to be there. That you can come back and say, then you say, I'm telling you. But why would Lincoln do that? And they come and be just like after a PLP, because I want mine too. Exactly. And I want my family up there too. Because I'm a Bahamian. I want a them. I just want a horse.
That's right.
Right, right.
All right, next question. Anyone else? Go ahead. Or statement. Yeah.
Thank you. Good night again, everyone. I just want to touch on points.
Go ahead.
Fisherman, farmer, barber. But one of the most important things. One of the most important things that I saw unveiled after this new government was, like you say, implementations of certain things without explanations. And one of them was in the fishing industry. And one of them was the inflation or the raise of the registration for boats. And it was another one. Oh yeah, and I think it was something to do with the licensing and the fishing. But in any event, neither of them have ever been explained for the reason. And we want to know where's this funds going, because the Bahamas has the biggest registry, or none of the biggest, but the third biggest probably in the world. So that means that's going to come for a lot of revenue coming into the Bahamas, probably more than national insurance. And that has to be accounted for because it's already been implemented. But apart from that, the government is already allocated twice a year budgets for the same sections. So what we as the people want to know is, where is this money's going, right? That's the first point. And the second point.
Okay. The Bahamas is now the 5th largest ship registry. In this hemisphere, Panama has a bigger registry than us, for example, but it's still the 5th largest in the world out of almost 200 countries. And the reason it raised is because they're trying to get money from us. They're a government that has no vision, and so their only solution is taxes. And they have to find every way that they can get taxes. The assumption is that you can afford a boat, you can afford to pay a higher registration fee. All right? And they're attacking you from fishery. So they're attacking in every way they could. Airbnbs, they're now taxing. They're trying to find, they're taxing Facebook. If you do an ad on Facebook, you have to pay the taxes on it. All right? They're finding every way to tax you to death. All right? We are going to move from a country that's dependent on taxes to a country that's dependent on its natural resources, like those Middle East countries. They don't need taxes. Their people don't get taxed. There will be no tax for Bahamians. All right? We're going to change that immediately. All right? We're going to benefit from our natural resources, our carbon credits. And so you won't have to worry about those taxes. Now, there will be business taxes for certain things. But we are going to aid our fishermen. I went to Moores Island before election. I told them the vision. We should have the biggest fishing industry in the world. Natural fish and the farm fish. We should be farming the fish in the oceans, not in the pools on land, so that we could, because they're doing it in other countries. But we should have the biggest fishing industry in the world. We're going to invest in that. But to do it, we're going to invest in our people. We're going to form companies, and we're going to invest in our fishermen, and we're going to partner with you. So you've got to form a proper company, and let's say you do co-op fishing. We're going to buy the, what do you call them, the condos, We're gonna buy the condos, we're gonna invest in you properly, and you're gonna own a percentage of the company, and the sovereign wealth fund, the payment people own a part of it. So they're gonna be jealous of us giving you money because we can make money from you making money. You see, they're gonna be hating. All right, and we don't care who you are, PFPF, and we don't care. You Bahamian, we're giving you the money. We're ending all that cronyism and violence and don't come to me and tell me, oh, this man get a contract and he's PLP. I don't care. Is he Bahamian? All right, we're changing it. It couldn't be changed before because of the back and forth. Ingham tried to do it when he came in, and his FNM was like, no, you can't be, no. These people do not. And so because of that, there was more tribal. When we get in, we can get rid of that because it could be a new thing. All right, and so Bahamians are going to be able to benefit. All right, so that's what's going to happen. So y'all don't kill me if you see someone who you know to be an FNM get a contract. That's a Bahamian. We really want to honestly and genuinely change the game and end all of that. Like I told Brave Davis, I said, Brave, if you're the first person to empower Bahamians, if you make every Bahamian wealthy, no one will never want to put you out.
That's right.
We love you like the man from Singapore. We love you on life support, trying to keep you alive. Lord, don't let him die. He's a prayer meeting around you every day. Lord, keep this man alive. I said, you want power the wrong way. Get power that you deserve. So that's the difference. So that's why they're doing it. All of the money is being squandered, as you can see right before your very eyes. So we're going to change that, and we're going to invest in our people.